My bad. I forgot to add you. Oh, we're on live.
What Coy?
Waiting on him now. But we're live. Nobody showed up yet, but we're live.
My light fine or brighter?
You good? Hello, Coy. What
Coy.
Some things just don't change, dude.
I love it, man. I love it.
What's up, man?
What's up now?
Eric, did you find it? Oh, Coy, you got it?
What's up?
Hey, Spivey. We got one view right now.
The itinerary. I'm not the what's the thing Eric was looking for?
No, y'all got to. Did I send the PowerPoint out to y'all?
No.
Great. I don't know where it is then. I have no idea then. I guess we're gonna wait till some more people show up. So people are slowly trickling in.
That's cool.
So how was the birthday?
Man. Pretty good, man. Went to Naples.
Oh, yeah, I saw him.
Nice.
Well, actually, Marco Island. Marco Island is close to Naples, west coast of Florida. Really quiet. Everything shuts down like 10 o'clock.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's just
Hey, Urban.
chill. It's very chill. Very old.
Nice, Spivey.
Yeah. What happened?
She told me I'm going for the black Santa Claus. I ain't have enough time to shave it down.
Oh man.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so it was good, man.
Oh, good. We got ours rolling up on Friday. You know, we're not that far behind you, so
What y'all gonna do?
nothing. Gun range?
How come? That's
what
something
I'm
to do.
Yeah. Gun range. We'll put some rounds down range. Pew pew.
Yeah, man.
Oh, thank you, Urban. Thank you so much. We're slowly picking up, so we're getting there. Some people listen, some people don't, but hey, we're here for you all. That's all it is. We're here for you all. So,
and we love the talk.
Yep. Look, chop it up.
Chop it up.
Oh man, I literally created a PowerPoint with macros, micros, and everything, and I'm like, I cannot find it. Driving me crazy right now. So, Urban, how's the weather where you are? Because I know here, in America, it's crazy. So, how about where you are? Is the weather okay over there?
Where is Urban?
She's in Urban. Are you in Canada? Is that where you are? I think Canada. I think.
That's cool.
Hey, is it Shawnee? You know what I mean? Miss Ewing. Hey, Miss Ewing. Oh, she say snow. Ooh, you can have it.
No, man. Fighting words down here in South Florida. Fighting word.
All right, Eric, I shot it to you. Just send it over to Coy.
Got it.
Oh, email?
Yes.
All right, let me see.
Oh, no, that's what's the thing you did for the audience?
Toronto, Canada.
Whew. Yeah.
No, man. I'll wait till summer.
Yeah. Y'all can have that snow. I'm over it now. I'm definitely over it.
Yeah.
So let me jump this on real quick. Oh, you found it? Oh, who found it? We're a little organized. I apologize. I'm a little unorganized right now. It was a last minute kind of thing for me to find everything. Let's see. Where is it? I don't see it. So today we're going to be talking about, since I'm just sitting here and it's dead silence, and y'all know we don't like silence like that. Let me go to my, oh no. There we go. I don't know why my computer acting up again. So there we go. So today's topic is today we're going to talk about meal planning, prepping made easy, healthy nutrition tips, and healthy nutrition tips for a balanced life. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. When it comes to that part, this is what we're going to learn. So this is our objectives for you all when coming out with nutrition. Again, I know it's not one of the sexiest parts, but at the same time, it's something that's very important. I know next week or next month we're going. What I walked. I know next month we're going to talk about mental health. So next month we're going to talk about mental health. We're going to bring on a mental health counselor, and we're going to get his point of view as well as you all point of view coming from the medical profession. So we want to definitely take all of that, see how that actually works when it comes to that part. So we're talking about healthy eating tips, understanding balanced nutrition and macronutrients. So we're talking about the macros and the micros. You hear it all the time, macros and micros. What exactly are those? Meal planning made simple, how to plan budget-friendly and nutritious meals. Because again, think about it, eggs are ridiculous, almost $10 for eggs. So how in the world can we literally meal prep now, but keep it reasonable? Like back then, I say back then, maybe about, what's up, Jason? Maybe about a couple of months ago, it wasn't that expensive meal prep. But you take a look now, it's getting more expensive to actually eat healthier. And that's a problem. So we got to figure out ways to actually do that within budget, especially for people with medical problems. Meal prep for success, save time with batch cooking, or we're talking about cooking a lot for a week or something of that nature, and food storage hacks and common nutrition mistakes. So basically, what can we do to avoid messing up? What up? Sorry, my bad, Jason. Jason, I'm so easily distracted by that. I'm like, what are you talking about? That's what he said. What's up? Sorry about that. All right, so common nutrition mistakes. What to avoid for a healthier lifestyle. So there are some things we want to avoid when it comes to a healthy lifestyle. So what are the things that we can avoid? So let's just jump off of the very first one where we're talking about balanced nutrition. What does that mean when we say a balanced nutrition? And then we're going to jump into macros and micros. Any of y'all, take it up.
I'll let you take it, Coy.
So balanced nutrition. Well, first, when we look at balanced nutrition, there are some key components. First, I think about making sure that we have good sources of protein, making sure that we have good sources of carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates, and obviously with fats. And all of those components are needed to have a balanced diet in order for us to have a good metabolism, have good energy, to be able to repair and restore our health. And so, when we look at balance, in my eyes, again, as a functional medicine practitioner, my job is to help individuals to get to the root cause of their disease process, to help them to do what their body needs to do all the time. We know that our body is made to heal itself, but we also have to give the body the right fuel in order to do that, right? And so I'm always looking for my clients to make sure that they have good sources of each component. Again, complex carbohydrates, that's your vegetables, your fruits, your proteins. Proteins can be animal proteins, but depending on your health condition, depending on your sensitivities and things of that nature, you may have to choose other sources of proteins from a plant-based diet or other sources of proteins. But then also you have to look at the fats. Fats are very important as well, but we have to make sure that we choose the right sources of those fats. So that's the way I look at the trying to make sure that we have a balanced life and a balanced make sure we're choosing the right sources of those components.
Derek, you want to add anything to that one?
No, he said it all. I would like to tell people that you don't have to be a squirrel and eat the little salad diet. I personally like a salad, but I do that because I want to get my micro and macronutrients, more of my micronutrients. So a lot of my greens that will give me my zinc, my magnesium, and a couple of other smaller things that you really don't get if you don't eat a well-balanced diet. But for me, like I said, I do a salad. I try to get all my fruits and servings by breakfast, no later than lunchtime. So by dinner, I'm not the cleanest eater, but I still try to keep it decent at around dinner time as well.
Okay. So one thing we're talking about macro, because we keep hitting that word macro versus micronutrients. And Erica asked a good question. Are peanuts a good protein? And we actually want to dive into that. So when looking at the screen, macronutrients versus micronutrients, the keyword macro, the prefix macro just means large, micro means small. So your macronutrients are, like it says, required in a relatively larger amount. So these are the things that you need in a larger amount. Notice Dr. Coy, he said complex carbs versus simple carbs. Complex carbs are the ones we want that provides more of the energy that we actually need. So we need those complex carbs. We also need those lipids, also known as fats, but our goody fats, or not goody fats, our good fats, as well as protein. And Erica, like you said, are peanuts good? Peanuts are a good source of protein. The biggest thing we have to watch out for is the amount of sodium or sugar that they put on those peanuts. So you have to keep that in mind. I like to go to the almonds perspective of it and avoid the peanuts to go almonds. But again, peanuts are a good source. For our micronutrients, like we said before, the keyword micros just means small. So our vitamins, our minerals, as well as our photochemicals, or basically our word photo or plant-based. That's where it's coming from. Plant-based nutrients. That's what we're referring to. So that's our macronutrients versus our micronutrients. Just to drop that in there real quick. And looking at this, what are our three micronutrients? Like I said before, vitamins, minerals, and plant-based. Those are our biggest three when it comes to our micro. But our biggest, or our focus, what we should hear is carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins. Mm-hmm. So with that said, hey, can we just tackle this? Let's tackle each one of these. Your carbohydrates, then we go to lipids, then we'll go to proteins. Can we tackle those?
Yeah. So one of the things that that I look at, again, looking at, go back to that screen there.
My bad. Okay, let me give me a second to pull it back up whenever my computer decides.
So as I said before, the goal is, for me to, when I'm coaching clients, is to really look at those macronutrients first, to get majority of your calories from those macronutrients. Again, you have carbohydrates. Again, carbohydrates, where the body works is that's where you're going to get majority of your energy from, to really break down those complex carbs into glucose. And obviously it's going to get into the bloodstream, get to the cells to be able to use it for what we call ATP, and that's energy, right? So we need those complex carbohydrates. That's going to come from your fruits and vegetables. Your proteins, again, it can come from different sources, but you want to make sure that you get those proteins because they pretty much are there to help build tissues, and to help restore those tissues and build up muscle, ligaments, and tendons, and all those things that we need there. You can get some energy from your proteins, but majority of that is going to be with building those amino acids. You're going to get those amino acids from those proteins. And obviously with your fats are there. Again, they're going to be there to help the cells. They're going to, majority of the cell membranes are going to come from your fats. And obviously it's going to be there for energy as well. We need that. And so I really want clients to really concentrate on, getting the best sources of those macronutrients first, and then move into those micronutrients. And a lot of times you get those micronutrients from your those macronutrients, but you're also going to be able to fill in the blanks with insufficiencies, or anything that's left off with your supplementation. So a lot of times you may get some supplements of vitamins and minerals that you're not getting everything from your food. You'll be able to get that from your supplements that you're getting from various sources online or your practitioner. Again, I use a lot of supplements. It's funny that you're using full scripts there. I use that resource a lot with my clients, and it's a big hub that I use to be able to make recommendations for clients.
Okay, I'm struggling over here with this computer right now. It's moving slow. All right, so I like how you say that. Now, one question I want to make sure that the audience know about this. When we talk about macro or we talk about carbohydrates, because we did talk about this when we talk about thyroids, our complex carbs versus our simple carbs. Can you break down? I know you touched on it. Can you break down a little more and make sure everybody understands what that means when it comes to that part?
Yeah. So, complex carbs, way I look at it is that, there's a difference between, say, an apple versus just regular sugar that you put into your tea. Both are going to have glucose, right? Both are going to have glucose, and you'll be able to utilize that for energy. But one is going to be a little bit more nutritionally dense. And this is maybe something that you can look up as well. Eric, is Dr. Furman's Andes list. So look that up really quickly, because that'll help explain some things here in regard to different types of nutrients, macronutrients versus micronutrients. And I always try to move a patient or a client to choose more nutritionally dense foods, and mainly like your complex carbohydrates, where the body has to take a lot of time to break it down in order to get to that glucose, right? So if you just have sugar and just put it on your tongue, it's going to break down really quickly, get in the bloodstream, shoot your glucose levels up. You're still going to get some glucose in, but it's not as nutritionally dense. It's not going to have the quality of the food, of that nutrient. It's not going to be as good as, say, an apple, organic apple, that you have to break down and really get the nutrients from. So, complex is just looking at the complexity of what that fruit vegetable is and how it's going to be broken down to be able to give you that energy that you were requiring.
So I'm pulling it up now. You said Dr.
Furman? Yeah.
Okay. I want to make sure I have the right one. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick.
It should be like a
what I see,
it should have like a
this is what I have. This right here, or no?
No, not that one.
Okay.
So let me try to find it.
Okay. One thing in particular, I know what Dr. Hoy was talking about, macro and micro. I know we bounce it back and forth between those two. Why you try to tackle that? One thing I like to do is pull it up, because he did talk about the types of energy from each one. So if you take a look at here, this is what he's talking about, the micronutrients versus the macronutrients. So when looking at this, your macronutrients, which is on the right side, we're talking about blood sugar stabilization. That's a big one. Make sure we have that stabilized blood, muscle growth, consistent and stable energy. We're talking about being full with your meals. So we live to eat, not eat to live. Or no, sorry, wrong way. We eat to live, not live to eat.
That's right.
Is that how I say? Yeah, that's how you say it. My bad. Yep. So that's what we have to look into. So again, just overeating, we don't want to overeat. That's one of the biggest things. Then we go over to the left side. We're talking about cellular health. These are our cells, the microscopic level that we don't see. This is where everything is occurring. So this is what we definitely have to take care of with the micronutrients. And as we get older, yes, we do need to start taking, I won't say we have to take vitamins, but if we're not eating the food that we should, we may have to actually supplement on some of those vitamins to make sure we get enough of that. We're talking about natural energy, immune support, as well as radical or oxidative stress. So fights free. So basically, what I tell people, especially when you're exercising, there's a chemical war going on in that body, and you're releasing all of these radicals or free. I won't go into a microscopic level, but you're releasing all these bad things as well as good things, and there's a fight. So that's where that comes to play. So we have to try to control that. So that's what I was referring to when it comes to that. And notice that in the middle of it, it shows right here, energy is optimized. Energy, optimized physiology, brain function, organ support balance. So this is the key thing when we stress you must eat healthy. This is what we're talking about. That's how you have your organ support as well as your brain function and living a healthy life. That's the biggest thing when it comes to that. So, okay, so I get off my soapbox. Yep. Cool.
Yeah, I've got that list so I can share.
Yeah. You got it. You should be able to share.
Present, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
While people come in, hey Gina, how are you? Erica, Bayou Sugar, how y'all doing?
So you can see this, right?
No, I cannot. Oh, hold on. Yes, I can.
Okay,
Here we
cool.
go.
So this is what's called the Dr. Furman's Andes list. And one of the things that I really stress with clients is make sure that you choose more nutritionally dense foods. It's really looking at the quality and those micronutrient, the density per calorie. You're looking at trying to get the most bang for your buck with the foods that you're eating, to be able to get those vitamins and minerals and those just the quality of the food is so much better. And what Dr. Furman really did was he ranked this different foods, and just it's not going to be every single food on the planet, but it gives you an idea of what's going on here. And you'll see that he ranks certain foods from 1,000, which is really good, and you'll see that he ranks some foods that or certain selections here that have no nutritional value at all. And so, as you can see here, kale, you got your collard greens, you got mustard greens, all these are like these greens here. You see how high the score is. And I really try to push clients to, hey, let's get into the green as much as possible, because you're going to get a lot more um, nutrition from these choices. And as you can see here, the score goes lower and lower and lower. And you can see in the orange range, this is not so nutritionally dense. And then you see over here in the red range is really not of any value. You can see that there. And so the goal is to try to push as much of your diet into that range of the higher ranking foods so that you can get the best value. So this is a really good tool that I use with clients. I recommend it anyone that's really looking to cleaning up their diet, especially right now. Like a lot of people, are getting through, we're in February, almost in March, right? Everybody's out of the gym. Everybody's, kind of winding down
Yep.
on their New Year's resolutions. But, I really stress, start with your nutrition first. What fuel are you put into your body? Make sure that you are getting the most bang out of your buck. And a lot of times when you clean this up, you're going to have better energy. You're going to be able to have less inflammation. You're going to have better brain function, all of these things. And you'd be surprised that you're able to start sticking to other healthy lifestyle habits a little bit longer. So, refer to the Andes list.
Question here, because Erica even was talking about this. Is there a way you can actually drop that or send it to me? We drop it in a link, or if there's absolutely a link or whatever.
Yeah, let me share it with you guys.
Okay.
And let me work on that.
Okay, cool. And Walt was want to know one thing, and here we're talking about, is there a real difference between raw foods and juicing? So, and when you think about it, it's somewhat similar, but what's the difference between the two? And is one better than the other, to be honest with you?
Well, I would say that like the raw versus the raw versus the juicing, you're already breaking it down, right? It's going to be easier for it to be absorbed in your system. And a lot of times with the raw, say for instance, you're juicing an apple, right? You're breaking it down and you're not allowing your body to do the breakdown. You're not allowing the body to be able to get those nutrients from the skin or things of that nature. So a lot of times the juicing, it takes out the trash, right? And so, puts the trash aside. Well, that's where a lot of your nutrients are too. So the juice, you're still going to get some, is better than nothing. But again, the raw version, you're probably going to get a little bit more nutrients. That's the best way I can explain it.
Okay. Makes sense to me. That definitely makes sense to me. Dr. Whiteside, did you want to add anything with that? What up, Philly Slow? What up? So Erica, we are going to take care of that, dropping that PDF for you in the link. If not, just hit us up. We'll definitely put it on our website and we'll send it out to you directly as well. Hey Shiny, how are you? So I know, oh my goodness, I am having squirrel moments today and I'm not on any caffeine. That's bad.
Yeah, no, nothing new to add to it. That's one thing that I have to admit, the medical school doesn't really go into detail about it. You get about 1.5, maybe 2 hours of this information, and it moves right past it, which is annoying to me. Most of it I had to study on my own, because if I want to be a well-rounded physician, I got to be able to understand what's proper nutrition. You got to understand your nutritional intake. Majority of the time, we'll refer them over to a dietitian or a nutritionist and just let it be. But when patients ask you questions right there in the clinic, you got to be able to answer them. So for me, everything that Dr. Coy said, I agree with. I didn't know about that diagram, but I like that diagram because the things that I've been talking to patients about correlates to the green side of that diagram. So that was helpful. It helps me realize that, or confirm everything that I was telling my patients was appropriate.
Yeah, it just people are visual and they gravitate to, hey, just show me something simple that I can follow. Especially, I have clients walk in with that as almost like a shopping list, very simple, and they'll start looking for these various things that are, ready and available in our grocery stores. And if you can, really customize or craft your diet around the things that's more on the left side of that list, I mean, you're winning. You're going to get a lot of macronutrients. You're going to get a lot of those micronutrients. And, you can see all the way at the bottom of it. And I'll try to find a way to help post this. But the last one on there was cola, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
So it gives you an indication, like it's a nutrient. You're going to get something from it. But, in comparison to watercress, greens, it's not gonna beat that.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I tell my patients too, and I know we're about to go to it, is just meal prep in itself. Because for me, when patients say, well, what do I get? Well, how do I organize? How do I figure out what to eat, when to eat, how to eat it? And I just tell them meal prep. When you meal prep, that makes it easier because you really don't have to think about it. You've done the thinking ahead of time, so you grab and go. So when you're hungry, you grab and go. There's no, oh, well, I think I'm gonna stop at this fast food. I think I'm gonna stop at this. And the worst thing to do is go to a grocery store when you're hungry, because then you want to get everything. So, Coy, tell me your opinion about the meal prep and how do you go about it?
Well, I think the meal prepping, I think first you have to define what are your goals for the meal prepping, because you have to define, exactly what you need. You also have to understand, okay, what you like, and also know what your budget is. Because at the end of the day, you want to be able to have something that is sustainable. I think the most important thing to make sure of is, make it realistic that you can be able to sustain it. And a lot of times, if you find yourself getting things that you really truly don't like, or you're just trying to force your way with it, it's not going to be sustainable. And I posted, Eric, I posted that Andy's list in our WhatsApp chat, so you can probably grab it from there and somehow share that. But as far as meal prepping, again, I think, hey, looking for your sales out there, looking for those sales. Right now, I have a nutrition group that I'm leading with my church, and just trying to help our fellow church members with their nutrition. And we talk about meal prepping, and we talk about, hey, send me the latest sales at the Publix, or the farmers markets, and looking at various places so that you can find your chicken, you can find your ground beef, you can find those vegetables, and make sure that you make some meals that can be able to sustain you and that fit your goals. And so that's how I go about it. Just make sure that it fits your goals that you're looking for.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out how I can pull it up. Give me 1 second about that part. Now, one thing I do want to know. Hey, what's up, Crack Shop Preparedness? One thing we did talk about was meal prepping. So we did talk about meal prepping. One thing I want to do is put up a simple meal plan. If you give me 1 second, I'm trying to figure out where it is now. I got so many windows open over here. Sorry, people. I'm unorganized today. Here we go, right here. Oh, just lost Koi. There, you get Koi off.
I don't know what happened.
It come back over there. All right, so scroll on down real quick. So this is a sample. Okay. So this is a sample meal plan. So we were talking about the macros versus micros and so forth. So this is just a sample meal plan. What I'm going to do is create a link, and I'm going to actually drop it in there for you. So I'm gonna create a link and drop it in there. So this is an example. Are y'all able to see this on y'all end or no?
Yes.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay. So this is just basically a quick sample. This I won't say this is the one I give my clients when we're working out, but it's something similar to that. So I base it on what their needs are. So this client here, we were talking about a 4-week meal plan, low carb, high protein meal plan, including 2 cheat days. Because let's be honest, you're not going to live on that meal the entire time. So when we say cheat days, something to sneak in there, something that you really like to reward yourself for doing a good job.
Mm-hmm.
So we have our daily structure. You break it down. Your breakfast, your snack, your lunch, snack, dinner, cheat meal 1, cheat meal 2. And that's just the basic structure of breakfast. High protein, low carb. Your snack is a protein rich and minimum carbs, so very little carbs. Your lunch, so if you notice you have a lean protein, this could be a red meat, could be a turkey or something of that nature, and a non-starchy vegetable. Mm-hmm. We're talking about healthy fats and proteins. Then dinner, we're going back to a lean protein again with very little fat on it and healthy fats. Now, one thing here, if you notice where it says lunch, a non-starchy veggie, what are we referring to when we say non-starchy veggie?
Well, you're talking about, say, your like your nightshades type, and the first one I think about is like white potatoes, right? Very, very starchy, versus, say, it's going to be a difference between a white potato versus a sweet potato, right? There's going to be a difference between those. And so I will opt for more of the sweet potato because, it's going to have more nutrients in it. It's going to be a little bit more healthier. And obviously it's going to have a different quality of it's going to be just a totally different quality of food versus that white potato there. So that's what we're looking at there.
All right. So again, one thing I like to sneak in a red skin potato because you said white potato. So we're talking about the brown skin or the red skin white potato?
Yeah, like like those Idaho white potatoes, like okay. There's a whole lot that goes on with that if you really break that down, obviously. But again, you're looking at, like, even when you look at that Andes list, you'll see like a sweet potato versus a white potato, right? Mm-hmm. It's going to show you the difference in the nutritional value there. And so that's where I wouldn't want to pick where we have the higher value.
Okay, I got you. And so basically having that list will help a lot of people out when, even if they try and create their own meal plan, having that list. So Erica, I didn't forget about you. I'm seeing how we can download and make sure you have it. We can put up where there's an actual link or website. So before we end this live, you're going to have that, I promise you. Going on down. So the sample meal plan itself. So breakfast. So what would it be? Because if we go back up here again, high protein, low carb. So what would that be? Scrambled eggs with spinach, spinach and feta, and turkey sausage. So you do have that lean protein where that turkey sausage come to play. A snack will be a Greek yogurt and almonds. Not saying you have to have Greek yogurt because I don't like yogurt, but something healthy. So notice I said almonds. So we talked about peanuts versus almonds earlier. So I like the almonds. So I will actually get, I know it's supposed to be like a handful or something of that nature. I get 2 handfuls. I'm just sitting there popping them, eating them for a snack. Lunch, grilled chicken breasts, roasted Brussels sprouts, and avocado. So again, these are just examples. I got you, Erica. So these are just examples of what they're referring to. Snack, string cheese and walnuts. Then go back to dinner if you're not allergic to a fish, baked salmon, asparagus, garlic butter. That does sound good, though, to be honest with you. Sorry.
You
Squirrel
hungry?
moment. My bad. That was squirrel moment. And your cheat meals go now. Burger with a whole wheat bun, sweet potato fries. So you can substitute the regular white potato fries with sweet potato fries because a lot of places are doing that now. And then cheat meal too. Pizza slice. So a slice of pizza with a side of salad, something of that nature. And notice underneath, just examples, a meal substitution. Swap the chicken for lean beef, turkey, or tofu. I'm not a tofu person, but something of that nature. Adjust your cheat meals based on your cravings while maintaining proper control. So I know urban donut though. My bad. So that's what we're referring to. So this is just a simple example of that. And this is what we do if you get a nutrition dietitian, because again, nutritionists and dietitians are two different things. So, but they'll work with you on this, and you should have somebody work with you, say, hey, this is what I eat, this is what I don't eat. Y'all should come up together and come up with something that you can actually live on. And that's the biggest things. And notice in here, what we didn't put are serving sizes. So for my clients, we say scrambled eggs. I'm going to say one scrambled egg. If we say spinach, I may say, I'll just say an example. I may say half a cup of spinach. Not saying you should have half a cup of spinach or example of that. So they have an idea. Then they can adjust from there. So that's what they're referring to. Notice one thing, what we talked about earlier, or what people have always said, should eat about 5 meals a day, blah, 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 all kinds of things. So that's what this is breaking down. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's literally what you're having. Those are your 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Then your 2 snacks is what they're referring to, and that's what they consider a meal as well, having those 2 snacks to help you get through a day. So you have your 3 meals plus your 2 snacks. That's what they're referring to as having, quote unquote, some people refer to as having 5 meals a day. So anybody want to add to that?
So Eric, I passed that link in our private chat, so you can grab that and share that with the group.
All right, cool. Thank you. All right, Erica, I'm going to paste it. We see if that works. Fingers crossed.
There it is.
I don't know if it came through as a link. I hope it did. Let me know. If not, I'll send it directly to you.
You can probably copy it in if you can.
Yeah. So Erica, let me know if that actually works or not. I'm not good with all that, so I'm learning as we go.
Now I do agree about the 5 meals.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I do agree with. And people wonder, why are you doing 5 meals? It's not 5 large meals. It's 3 main meals and then your snacks in between. And the reason I say that's good is because what you're doing is you're trying to keep your metabolism revved up. The worst thing you could do is eat. Your metabolism revs up because it wants to burn up the food, then it drops back down. So it's a roller coaster. You want to avoid a roller coaster ride on your metabolism. If you keep it revved up the entire time, you're going to continue to burn fat. You're going to continue to lose the weight. So, and then the other thing is you keep your glucose level at a normal range or at a steady state is what you want. So your energy level doesn't fall off. That's another thing you want to prevent. So your 5 meals keeps your metabolism revved up, and then it keeps your glucose levels at a constant level.
Okay. Yep. Dr. Corey, you want to add anything with that one?
Yeah. I always have to go back to the individual's goals. There are specific goals, medical conditions, and issues that are going on there. And I love the disclaimer, the scrolling all the way across there. Make sure that you talk with have a good advice. Have a professional. We talked about dietitian. That may be an option. Functional medicine. A practitioner that's well versed in nutrition. And I think it all comes back to, what are your goals? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to bulk up? Are you trying to lose weight? Are you preparing for an event? There are certain types of meal plans that need to be catered to your goals. Like if I'm trying to train for a half marathon, I'm not going to eat like I'm trying to do a CrossFit event. Likewise, if I know that I'm not active, I'm not going to eat like eat everything at, all I can eat when I know that I'm not as active as I need to be. So, make sure that you look at your goals, and make it fit your lifestyle, something that is sustainable. mainly what I look at too is, I think we talked a little bit about this and this is something that I really talk with some folks that I'm coaching with nutrition right now, is that don't aim to be perfect, because it's not going to happen. I always speak about it's better to be consistently good rather than being occasionally perfect. And there's an 80-20 rule that speaks of, if you are, whatever that goal is that you create, if you're able to have 80% consistency with it, you're going to get some type of benefit from it. And that 20%, it may be those cheat days, or it may be ways that, okay, well, it's not the ideal situation, but I can fall off a little bit, but I'm not going to fall off too much, because I want to make sure I hit my goal. So I'm going to try to create that sustainability and that consistency with my plan. And so you got to pick something and you got to go with it. You got to plan and be consistent with it. And if you're 80%, like one of my with my coaching, I use my app where I have my clients track their eating habits. They're journaling their eating habits, where they actually will grade their meal. And we're just aiming to try to get 80%. 80%. If you can get 80%, you're winning. And what you'll end up finding is some people will say, hey, I'm better than 80%. Like, that seems a little low for me. So you'll find that, they don't want to fall off, and they start seeing better results, seeing more energy. They start feeling better and losing weight, or being able to do what they want to do. And so that's one thing I would really stress for folks is try to use that 80-20 rule. Find a way that you can track and be 80%, at least 80% consistent.
My man, DC, I was just saying the same thing to him. Like, Dr. Whiteside, your eyes open. Like, there you go. Okay, just making sure your eyes open. That boy looks sleep. So sorry about that. I was just thinking that. So another thing I like to do for my clients, and one thing I love now, is you have Chat GPT. So my man, I'm struggling today. I'm so squirrel moments today. Yeah, he dozed off. My man. Okay. All right. So one thing I like to do with my clients is I sit down with them. So we'll go over their nutritional goals. We map out when it comes to nutritional goals. And I love to do 4 weeks or more, because you're not going to see results in 1 week. You're not going to see true results in 1 week or 2 weeks. As a society, we're so used to having that instant kind of thing. And it's not like that. It took you a while to put the fat on. It's going to take even longer to bring the fat off. So I tell people it is a marathon and not a sprint, especially when trying to do it the healthy way. So one thing I like to do, like I said before, is when I sit down with my clients, we do a meal plan, then we come over and do a workout plan. And I do it where if I'm available with them, and also something they can do on their own. And like I said before, with Chat GPT, you can just type anything in, and with the world of AI, you just come up with whatever you want. One thing we said before is, I know, right, Erica? One thing we said before is be careful when you first start out working out. So be careful. You want to start with the walk, and you just can't jump into strength training. So you want to ease your way into it. And this is just an example of a workout that I did set up for one of my clients. It was a weekly schedule. Again, this is a person, we'd say, hey, we're doing 7 days a week. But with that 7 days a week, this is what we're going to tackle. Day 1, full body strength and cardio. Day 2 is active recovery. When we say active recovery, you're not just sitting around. You're recovering, but you're stretching, you're walking, or some of that nature to stretch out those muscles. Because if you work out one day and then you sit around, okay, I got you. And then you sit around the next day, there's a problem with that. So you want to make sure that you actually doing active walking or some type of stretching or some of that nature. Is that better, Urban? Sorry, can y'all see that better now? Can I zoom in more? Okay, that's all I can do. Can y'all see that now? Yes.
Mhm.
Thumbs up.
Absolutely.
Sound like I do my students. So this is what we're talking about. Then day 3, we go back into it. Upper body strength. Thank you, Irvin. Upper body strength and core. Then day 4, cardio and endurance. So notice is no 2 days back to back with just straight strength. Then we go day 4, cardio and endurance. Day 5, lower body strength. Day 6 is full body strength and cardio. So when it comes to day 6, we're doing a full body. So we're not just hitting the legs again or the lower body again. We're doing other parts as well to give that recovery. And then day 7, rest and recovery. Again, this is for one of my clients, and it's more of an advanced client. So I don't expect everybody to be going into the gym 6 days a week. If you think about it, a lot of people do New Year's like that. They go in the gym every single day, then they fade away or they fall off. It's because you went out so hard, so strong in the paint. You want to go in there as easy. You can't go in there, but lack of better words, go in there raw dogging at the very beginning, and you're not going to last long. Let's be honest, you're not going to last long. Be a 10-minute brother, 5-minute brother, something like that. So you want to, so you want to ease into it. Oh, yeah. So you want to ease into it. You just can't go into it real fast. So you want to ease into it when it comes to that part.
Pause.
Thank you, Bayou. Yes.
Pause. No Diddy. Sorry. So a simple weekly workout. So we broke down day 1. So again, day 1 was full body strength and cardio. So this is what day 1 would look like. Body weights with squats, three sets of 12. So what we call 3 by 12. Walt, you're a mess. Push-ups, bent over dumbbell rows, 3 by 12. Then jump rope, 3 rounds, 30 seconds. So notice that the jump rope is more of a high impact kind of thing. So you have to take a little easy for those just going into it. Then we jump into day 3, because remember, day 2 is active recovery. So all we're doing is walking, stretching, or even yoga, to be honest with you. Some hot yoga at that, which I've never heard of till this year. So upper body strength and core will be the next one. Oh, I'm sorry. He needs some milk. They say, wake up, Derek. And then here. Oh, we ain't behaving, CC. You know we don't behave around here. When we get out once track mind, we running with it. Let's run with it. All right, so upper body strength, dumbbell shoulder press, bicep curls, plank hold, Russian twist. Then day 5, we go into lower body. Day 7 is rest recovery. So this is just an example. So again, this is just an example of something I did with one of my clients. Notice at the bottom, modification and tips. Adjust weights based on comfort, increase repetition gradually. Our body is a wonderful machine. After 1 to 2 weeks of doing the same exercise, your body will adjust and you're not going to see that much of an improvement. So you constantly have to push yourself even more. So that's where that comes today. So anybody want to add to that? Anybody want to add to that real quick? Because I know I went over a lot real fast. So
I think you're good right there.
Okay. So in the chat, so those of you all in the chat, because I know we got off a little bit. So what are some things that you're doing, or what are some questions that you may have right here? So we're going to do what Bayou said. We're going to pause for a second. And what are some questions that you may have about meal prepping, or about micronutrients, or even about exercise or strength training? What are some things or some questions you may actually have? And we just pause until somebody asks a question. Not a problem. One question was, what is hot yoga? I don't know what it is. I just heard of it, but I'm going to Google it to find out, because I have no clue. That's one of
pretty much yoga and almost like yoga. I consider almost yoga in a sauna, but yoga in a room that's hot. It's supposed to help relax your muscles even more and allow deeper stretching.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, but also it's it can raise obviously when you're in that at higher temperature, it's going to raise the intensity level of that exercise. So it's just adding an element of heat to make that more intense. I've done it once. It was a great experience, but I haven't gone back.
Why not?
Well, I mean, it first is yoga, and you have to, it's a practice, right? It's not something that you just pop in and pop out, right? But you sweat a lot, right? So you got to make sure that you're hydrated. You got to make sure that you go in ready, so it's not something that you just like, okay, I want to do some yoga, and just jump in like he's like, Dr. Like doctor said, is, it's yoga in a sauna, literally, right? So if you just think about it, if you get in a sauna, a lot of times you might not be able to last, more than 5-10 minutes, if that, in a sauna.
Okay.
Right? Just imagine that you're now doing all these poses on top of it. So it's definitely, you're gonna sweat a lot. And so just make sure that you're safe when you're there.
Because like she says, she needs some hot yoga in her life. You got to be safe with it. You're going to sweat. You're going to stretch. Make sure you don't pull a muscle. You got to take it easy. You got to ease into it now. So, and y'all are wild today. Y'all are wild today. All right. So one question was going back on task. I'm having so many squirrel moments. Was here. It says I don't always feel hungry. If 1 to 2 meals a day good enough, or I don't need 3. So when it comes to that, because we did talk about that, having 2 to 3 meals a day, or typically your 5 meals a day. So what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I have to ask, again, I always have to come back to, what are your goals with your eating? A lot of times when you just mentioned that earlier, is that we eat, a lot of times we eat to live versus live to eat, right? And a lot of times, we have these issues with whether you're hungry or not. I always have to kind of talk about the perspective of my clients where they're, type 2 diabetics or having issues with difficulty losing weight, where they have issues with their metabolism. So coming from that perspective, if I'm hearing a person that says, I'm not hungry, I'm always looking at, well, with skipping meals, that's not always not a good thing for a person. Dr. Whiteside was just talking about it, is, we're looking at normalizing blood sugar and creating the body, trying to give the body energy, as much as energy as possible, so that we can metabolize and increase that metabolism. Metabolism is the rate to which you convert your food to energy. And so if you're not giving your body the right fuel, you're not going to get the right metabolism. And a lot of times what happens is the body will choose to feed on itself, or to store and to reserve. That's where we get that, that belly fat. That's where we can't lose that weight, because the body is going to go for survival mode versus thriving. So it's going to hold on to weight. It's going to hold on to, or create excess fat on the body, because it's a rich source of energy. So, to change that, you have to put fuel in. So the key is, one thing you'll find is that the more you're able to create that metabolism by giving yourself the right fuel, nutritionally dense foods, you'll find your body being able to metabolize those things better. You're able to digest those foods better. And then you may find that you become more hungry as you go along.
Okay,
so
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Walt's talking about what is the minimum time frame for exercise to work with a so-called good diet. Now, I'm gonna jump in there real quick. Now, when I deal with my clients, there's no, how do I say this? It could be a loaded question per se, because everybody's going to be different. It's based on your endurance. If I'm working with somebody just starting out, 10 to 15 minutes and they're done. That's literally it. I'm not pushing it. Somebody that's a little more experienced, we're pushing it 30 minutes, 45 minutes. The max we're doing is an hour. Even for myself, when I work out, the max I'm doing is an hour of true working out. Now, within that, so sometimes when I time myself, I got an hour and a half on my timer. That's because I'm probably sitting around not doing anything for a longer rest period, which I shouldn't do. But the max you need is an hour. If you're in that gym 2 to 3 hours working out at a hard rate, you're doing something wrong. You really don't need that much unless you're looking at doing competitions and you're doing body splits for working out. But other than that, an hour at the most is truly what you need. You can get it. If you can't get it done within an hour, you're doing something wrong. I'm just gonna be honest. So 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour. If you add the cardio with the strength training, get in, get out. That's you got to live your life. Don't live your life in the gym. Have the gym part of your life, but you literally have to live your life too. Dr. Coy, Dr. Whiteside.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, just time management. I mean, in fact, you're not going to get all the results in the gym. You get the results outside the gym when you're fueling and resting to recover. So that's where you get majority of the benefits with all that hard work that you put into the gym.
Dr. Whiteside, did you want to add anything?
No, I agree with him. Everybody said it appropriately.
Okay. So CC say, if you love to eat, would you suggest healthy snack throughout the day? So I do. I strongly recommend it. Dr. Coy.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think that if you love to eat, I mean, who doesn't love to eat, right? Again, I think it just goes back into just making sure that you eat healthy foods. You can be a foodie. Again, it all pertains to your goals and what you're really trying to accomplish. Sometimes it's okay to be able to eat some foods, foods that are rich, really rich foods, and that's rich in calories and all those things. But you just want to have that balance. You want to be able to, just to have that balance as much as possible based on your goals.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is what you saying. She said, okay, so I eat only when I get hungry, which results in 2 meals a day and 2 snacks, and I can never eat full portions. Okay, full portion meals, but I can always finish my snacks. But I am diabetic. So she is diabetic, type 1 to type 2, but she is diabetic. So she's getting the food, which is a good thing. This is just for me as a personal trainer. So she's getting the food, she's getting the nutrients that she needs. And then from that, we're looking at the glucose level. So we don't want to spike that level too high, right, and that eating a lot of junk, but we got to look at the glycemic levels for those actual foods or for those snacks. So we want to look at that. So Dr. Coy, Dr. Whiteside.
Yeah, make sure that you're in it, and it's okay to eat when you're hungry. But for a diabetic, you're always looking at your glucose levels and how your glucose is pre-meal and also post-meal, right? That's the main thing that you really want to look at. Like you said, try to limit those spikes with your glucose levels, and make sure that they don't go through the roof just because you're eating whatever you want to eat, or you want to be able to have that good discernment.
Okay, cool. So it says, why is it that when I'm full, I cannot eat more real food, but I can eat junk food? So she's full, but she can eat more junk food than she can actually eat real food. There's is a psychology with that, but there's also something in that junk food, which is a simple sugar, or a simple carb, which is a sugar.
That's right.
And we have those receptors where we're not hungry, but it's like the Lay's potato chips. You can't eat just but one. You're going to eat more and more and more. So you're not even thinking about it. And that's why, if you notice in stores, they got a little more processed in junk food than they do actual healthy food, because they know it. They know that you have those receptors in your brain. And if you think about it, it's like those that take in a lot of caffeine. And if you stop caffeine, you get a bad headache. And that's the same thing when it comes to this. You're eating all that junk food that has all that simple sugar in it, and then you stop it, then you crave even more and you're eating more. So there is a psychological aspect of it, but there's also a physiology aspect of it.
Yeah.
Whiteside, Corey, y'all want to take over?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to tap into those centers of the brain that, much like like a high, you're going to get that high from that particular food, and it's going to tap into those centers that, much like a drug, and there is a biochemical aspect of that. And that's what you really want to limit as well, because when you go too far on the left like that, it can actually be detrimental health wise. So really limit those, and that goes in with cravings. A lot of times when you have these cravings, your cravings will come about from lack of the nutrition that you need. A lot of times folks are really craving the chocolate and craving certain things. You may be craving those things because you're lacking magnesium, you're lacking your vitamin D, you're lacking vitamin C, you're lacking all these vitamins and minerals there. And so the key is making sure that you limit that by having your nutritionally dense foods. And you'll find that over time, your palate starts changing. You start to lose those cravings. Another hidden macronutrient that people really miss is your water.
That's true.
Your water, you need that water. Over what? How many percent? What's the percentage of the body is water?
70% of the body.
70%. Like you need it, right? So you need that. And I always recommend that, drinking half of your body weight in ounces, or without exceeding over 100 ounces of water per day. And that also is dependent upon the type of lifestyle that you're living or exercise and all those things. So you'll find that many times your cravings come from just because of dehydration. So really watch out for that, especially, Dr. Whiteside, you're in Vegas, right? I mean, 120-degree weather. I mean, that's nothing to play with, right? So, make sure that you're hydrated. And down here in South Florida, the humidity, so you got to make sure that you're really, really hydrated.
All right. Whiteside, did you want to add anything with that one?
Nah, I agree with Dr. Coy. The main thing is really staying hydrated. I carry a gallon of water on me on a regular basis, and I fill it up at least once a day. It sounds crazy. People looking at me crazy. But during the summertime, you're sweating and people don't realize it.
Yep.
But you're losing your fluid. You become extremely dehydrated. You become drowsy. You're tired. You become groggy. And that's the thing. So, no, you always got to keep your water intake. And the other thing people don't think about, you keep your water intake, the water actually fill you up as well. So if you start having some of that hunger, then just drink some water. And I tell people drink cold water, because when you drink cold water, your body's going to actually try to heat it up. When your body works to heat it up, it starts burning or revving up in metabolism, which then starts burning off a few calories.
Okay. So Walt talked about, is 4 or 5 hours sleep a day unhealthy? Are there any suggestions to create a healthy lifestyle around the lack of sleep? Either one of y'all?
I'm laughing at CC. She clowning me about Vegas now.
Yeah, I would tend to think, again, depending on your lifestyle, depending on what is required of you, for me, 4 to 5 hours is not enough, right? For me. But again, that's depending on your lifestyle and what's going on with your body. If you're having some health issues, some chronic disease and illness and imbalances, 4 to 5 hours may not be the best thing for you, versus, your job or other situations are going on. If you're healthy enough to sustain that, hey, go for it. But if you have a health condition, definitely reconsider that, because your body needs adequate amount of rest to be able to recover.
Yep. And that's one of the biggest things. When you're resting, they say anywhere from 8 to 9 hours of sleep is what you want. You have to factor in, when you're resting, your body is actually recovering. Your body is healing. So you have to have that rest. That's going to be the biggest thing when it comes to that. So we know we got 4 to 5 hours of sleep, and that's typical for the American, honestly, 4 to 5 hours, or Canadian. 4 or 5 hours of sleep is what we're talking about. But you want to try to get more sleep than that. If you can't get the sleep, that stretch of sleep, try to take a few naps during the day if possible. Not while driving, but if, like, I ain't gonna lie, I do that all the time. In between classes, I have a planning period. Cut them lights off, I'm going to sleep. I'm not even gonna fight it. I'm gonna go to sleep, set my timer 5, 10, 15 minutes. I try to get 15 to 20 minutes. Well, I wake up, my body's so tight. It's like the best sleep I've ever had. And it was a quick cat nap. So if you can't get more sleep during the nighttime or during the daytime, based on your work schedule, try to sneak in some of those naps as well during the daytime or whenever. You got to get it because your body has to recover. The less sleep you have, the less likely your body is able to recover, the more likely you're going to have those medical problems, and the weaker that immune system becomes, and you're going to get sick. So again, you have to get that rest, or what we call, yeah, like what Urban said, the power nap. That's what it is. Here it's talking about 5 hours max, but I have insomnia. It's understandable. And what we're talking about, even for female, not saying you, but for females that premenopausal, insomnia kicks in. That's what's going to happen. Insomnia kicks in. You try to get as much sleep as possible, but there's other things that's going to affect it. But again, if you 5 hours, if that's all you get, that's better than 2 hours. So try to get as much sleep as possible when it comes to that. Good questions. I like these comments. Everybody, we all picking on Dr. Whiteside to fall out the chair. So
I am awake, man. I'm wide awake.
Our psychologist over here, Spivey said 26 minutes is the optimal time for a nap. So 26 minutes. So that means during my planning period, during the vitamin, 26 minutes. Got it. So 26 minutes, if that's optimal, I'm going to test that out tomorrow. Hopefully my boss ain't listening. I'm going to test that out tomorrow to see. We'll find out. Oh, you awake? All right. So are there any other? Right here. Well, you say I take 20-minute naps at work on my lunch break. I know that's right. Unfortunately, our lunch break is only 20 minutes. Of those 20 minutes, 5 of those minutes trying to kick our kids out of class. The other 5 minutes is bringing the kids back into class. So we only have 10 minutes for lunch as teachers, which is ridiculous. Wow. That's literally all we have. And I can't guarantee that's not going to be interrupted because, like, when mommy and daddy, I need to see you, need to talk. It's like, yo, let us eat first. So we have to do something. We got to deal with that as teachers, which sucks. So I said not you, CC. I said not you. I was saying in general, not you. I even made that. I said not you, CC, but in general for females that may be premenopausal. All right. So with that said, we come upon an hour and 7 minutes. So like I say, we respect your time. Don't want to hold you any longer. I love this topic. We had a lot of good time. One thing I want to make sure is you all make sure, because I know Erica asked for it earlier, make sure you're able to click on that link that Dr. Coy was talking about. What was the name of that, Dr. Coy?
The link is Dr. Furman's Andy's List.
Dr. Furman's Andy's List. So make sure you all are able to, if you can, try to click on it to make sure you're able to get to it. If you're not able to get to it, let us know. Then send us an email or something of that nature. Then we'll send it directly to you. We want you to have it. That's one good, that's like a good document that you can use to help with meal prepping. So it's definitely a good thing. And it breaks it down. It's color coded. So guys, we're simple. We like color code. So it makes it easy for us. Red means bad. So we know we stay away from the red area. So we want to make sure we take care of that. So thank you, CC. So are there any other questions, comments, or concern before we end this live today? I know we got to do a hella pause like they said before. I'm not going to fool with that, Urban. All right, if there's no other questions, thank you so much, Ryu. And if when you're coming down in April, let us know when in April. We'll hold a class for you so we can get you research for BLS certification. So sorry, that was a side thing. So if there's no other questions, we want to thank you all for coming to us today, watching us today. I know it's not one of the sexiest parts, unlike what we talk about when we talk about thyroid. It's not one of the sexiest parts, but it's something we need to know because all of this actually fits together. So that's the biggest thing. All this fits together. So we want to make sure, yes, you may have diabetic, you may have a thyroid issue, but how does the meals you intake or consume, how does that affect it? That's one thing we want to actually hit as well. And we talk about diet and exercise. Next month, we're going to actually look at mental health. So mental health from the medical perspective. So from Dr. Coy, Dr. Whiteside, and we're going to actually bring in some guests as well. So mental health counselors, and they're going to talk because that's one of the things where it's a bigger push for mental health. One thing in particular, guys in particular bottle a lot up. So we want to talk about that as well. And how do y'all see that on the medical side? So with that said, we want to thank you all for attending. And what's saying? Okay, so right here, one question. Says one question, can people with thyroid issues take iodine?
That's a loaded question. We'll have to look at labs, understand what are the deficiencies with that particular person. But that is a more loaded question there. My next question is, have they had the proper testing done to figure out what are the root causes of their thyroid issue? So that's where we have to look at that.
Okay, cool. So hopefully answer your question for you. All right, so next month we're going to actually talk about mental health, and we're going to talk about sleep for Dr. Whiteside.
Really?
Yep. So we're going to actually focus on mental health next time you come in. We're trying to get more people on the panel and make it more of a lively discussion. So we definitely want to actually add more stuff when it comes to that So it says whether you take iodine with thyroid issue depends on your thyroid condition and whether you have an iodine deficiency. So like Dr. Coy said, that is a loaded question. So that's what you actually have to take into account. Yes, y'all, please hit the thumbs up. Thank you. That's one thing we don't need to talk about. So please hit the thumbs up and just push it out to share it with everybody. Like, comment, subscribe, share with everybody. We love to get the message out to more people. All right, so with that said, it's going on an hour and 11 minutes, so 11 minutes after the time. Thank you all so much, and we'll catch you next time.